Yo, what is up guys? TheFlawlessWin here today, and today we have another UU match against some guy I found on Smogon, and you guys are probably like, wait, Smogon? What the hell? Not the Wi-Fi Battle Finder, but on Smogon they have this one, I guess you could call it a pseudo Battle Finder in the forums, and I usually try to stay away from that just because most of the people I find in that chat are really bad. And I just try to stick to Skype for finding my battles, but there weren't really many people online or on Skype that wanted to battle, or that I hadn't battled before. So I just decided to head to the forums on Smogon, and I found this guy. I can't remember his name, but it was just a bunch of like random letters and numbers. Usually when I see a name like that, I'm like, oh, this person's terrible. But he actually had a fairly decent team, and he knew what he was doing. So, yeah. He's kind of using some unique stuff. He's got the Houndoom there, and the Mew, and Nidoking. Like, those are three Pokemon you really don't see that often. Blastoise, Kingdra, Heracross, though, those are some pretty standard UU pokes. But I'm looking at threats, and I see the Nidoking because my main special wall is Roserade, and obviously Nidoking carries Fire Blast most of the time, and that just completely destroys Roserade. And Earth Power pretty much shits on all of my other guys, so I'm gonna have to watch out for that. And then Heracross. When I first made this team, I thought it was really good because it had lots of synergy, but then I started realizing that it's not very good against really common UU threats like Chandelure and Heracross, so yeah, Heracross is going to be another threat, but I should be able to deal with Kingdra. If it's special, Roserade can deal with it, and if it's physical, Swampert should be able to deal with it. So, yeah, I'm not really worried about that, but definitely Nidoking and Kingdra, or not Kingdra, Heracross. Those are the two I'm going to have to watch out for. So, I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Sableye, because I figured he'd just go ahead and lead off with his Mew to get up his Stealth Rocks, and I could obviously get the priority taunt on him. But he actually leads off with his Houndoom. I guess he was expecting my Roserade lead, or maybe he was even predicting the Sableye lead, I'm not sure, because he could just absorb the Will-O-Wisp. And I could stay in and try to, you know, stall him out with Sableye, but I figured Swampert could really take anything from standard Houndoom and just set up my Stealth Rocks. So I'm going to go ahead and switch that in instead. But he actually sets up the Substitute here, so I guess he's like sub-Nasty Plot. But I'm still not very scared because I know I can take a +2 Dark Pulse because, you know, Swampert is that bulky and I don't even have any special defense investment, but I still know it can take it. So, yeah, I'm just going to go for that Earthquake, break that sub, and now I know he's probably going to be scared of me hitting him with another Earthquake, so he's probably going to switch out. So I'm just going to go ahead and set up my Stealth Rocks here as he brings in his Blastoise, and I know right here the switch out to Sableye is a little bit too obvious, so what I'm actually going to do is just stay in and go for the Toxic, just to try to get some residual damage on this Blastoise. And actually he goes for his own Toxic, which is kind of bad because Swampert is one of the only things on my team that can take hits from Heracross, and this Toxic really doesn't help me if I'm going to want to switch into like a close combat or something. So yeah, that's kind of annoying, but I still do have my Sableye to keep that thing in check, so yeah. Now I'm going to switch out into my Sableye, figuring that he would go for the Rapid Spin, but he makes a very good play. Goes for the second Toxic, knowing I would probably bring in my Sableye. And yeah, now my Sableye has a timer on it. It can't stay in very long, or else the Toxic damage will really rack up. And right here I'm just going to go straight for the Nightshade, because if he does want to stay in with his Blastoise, then it will obviously get a lot of damage off, because it's always 100 damage no matter what Pokemon it hits. And it will probably do more than his Scald, as you do see there. It does do more than his Scald. So I'm definitely going to win this stall war because I have the recovery, and also my Nightshade does a little more than his Scald does. So yeah, if he did want to bring in something else, then Nightshade would get a really good amount of damage off on said Pokemon that switched in. But he decides to bring in, or leave in his Blastoise, like I said. Right here, I just go for the recover because I'm running a little low on HP, and he gets a free switch into his Nidoking, which is not good for me. I want to keep this. I know my Sableye can take in Earth Power, but I want to keep it good at a good amount of health for his Heracross and for spin blocking against his Blastoise. And I figure he'll just go straight for the safe Earth Power, just because it's really risky for me to bring in my Azelf, because it can, Nidoking can probably destroy me with like a Fire Blast or something. But I'm going to make that really risky play, bring in my Azelf, and it pays off for me because, obviously, I'm immune to the Earth Power, and I know he still does have the Houndoom with him, and I literally can't touch that thing with any of my special moves. I have, like, Psychic, Shadow Ball, and Flamethrower, so I'll just go for the U-turn expecting that to come in. I do get the crit on it and take it out, but I think a U-turn would have brought it down to enough HP where it would have died to the Stealth Rocks on next entry. So, yeah, I'm a little behind. I bring in my Raikou off the U-turn, he brings in his Nidoking. I go straight for the Hidden Power Ice, because I didn't think he would go for the Earth Power again, because I brought in my Azelf last time, but he makes a very good play. Expects me to expect that, and just go straight for the Earth Power, because I knew if he went for like the Fire Blast or the Ice Beam, I would have been able to live it with my Raikou. And unfortunately, I don't knock him out with the Hidden Power Ice, and he knocks me out. But I can bring in my Azelf. I know nothing wants to take a Psychic, and he decides to leave in his Nidoking and sack it. If I were him, I would have sacked something else, just because Nidoking is such a big threat to my team, and it can live another Stealth Rock entry. But you know, it's not my decision. And now he brings in his Heracross. I know the Mega Horn is probably coming, so I go out into my Machamp. I do have a good amount of HP investment on this thing, so I should be able to take Mega Horns pretty well. And judging from that damage, it looks like a Scarf Heracross, so yeah, I won't have to worry about possibly giving him a Guts boost with my Sableye Will-O-Wisp. And I know he's most likely going to switch out here, so I'm just going to go for the substitute. And he brings in his Blastoise. I think I can knock him out with a Dynamic Punch, so I'm just going to go straight for it. I mean, even if I couldn't, there's really nothing else I should have done, so yeah, I assume he tries to roar me out there because I outspeed him, and Blastoise is usually faster than Machamp, but he doesn't get to roar me out because Dynamic Punch takes him out from that range, which is really nice. Now he brings in his Kingdra, which was kind of confusing to me, but he said he thought I might have a payback on this Machamp, and I mean, I guess that's a reasonable thought, but you know, I'm pretty sure most Machamps nowadays run Stone Edge just because it's overall better to have Stone Edge than it is payback. But you know, I could have had payback and it would have done a lot of damage to his Mew as he broke my sub. So Kingdra is able to live that Dynamic Punch, not very well though, and break my sub. Right here, I want to keep my Machamp at a good amount of HP for his Heracross, so I'm just going to go out into my Roserade to take anything. I know this thing is special because he went for the Surf, so I don't have to worry about him going for like the Outrage or anything, and I can sponge any special hit, even a Draco Meteor, I can take that. And I'm just going to be able to knock him out here. He decides to just leave in his Kingdra. I guess he, I don't know, didn't want his Heracross or his Mew to take any damage. So now he goes out into his Mew. I figure my Azelf can take any hit, even though it is pretty frail. I was figuring he'd just go for like the Psychic, or like, I don't know, worst comes to worst, he goes for like the Shadow Ball, and it takes me out, but yeah, I didn't think he'd have that. But he actually goes for the Nasty Plot on the switch, and this is kind of scary because I know my Azelf's Shadow Ball won't be able to knock it out just because Mew is pretty bulky. And after my Azelf dies to a +2 Ice Beam here, I really don't have anything that can take on this Mew, because my Scarfer's dead, my Raikou, and the only other thing on my team that could outspeed this thing was my Azelf, so yeah. I decided to go into my Swampert thinking I might be able to live a Psychic, but no, Mew is just too powerful and I don't have any special defense investment, so yeah, it's just going to knock me out with the +2 Psychic, and he only has one Life Orb hit left in him. I just decide to go into my Roserade because I really don't need it. All he has left is his Heracross, and Roserade is not going to stop a Heracross. And I need both my Sableye and my Machamp for his Heracross because Machamp can take the Mega Horns and Sableye can take the close combat. So yeah, I know all he has left is his Sableye, and I'm hoping to God I hit this Will-O-Wisp, and I do fortunately hit this Will-O-Wisp, and I'm pretty sure a Mega Horn wouldn't have taken me out just because I know this thing is scarfed. Yeah, and I would have had a second chance to hit the Will-O-Wisp, so even if I did miss it, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. He decides to lock himself into Earthquake just because it's I guess the best thing to hit both of my last two guys, which are my Sableye and my Machamp. And yeah, this is just going to be really boring. I'm just going to be able to stall out this Heracross with recovers and burn damage and Nightshade damage. So yeah, I'm just going to speed this up really quickly so you guys don't have to watch it. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I don't know, this team I used in this battle, like I said, when I first made it, I thought it was pretty good, just because it has really good synergy, but, you know, having good synergy isn't all a good team needs. It needs to be able to take on the prominent threats in whatever tier it's made for, and obviously, this team isn't very good at taking on Heracross or Chandelure, so, and those are like, I don't know, is Chandelure in the top 5? I'm not sure. I know Heracross is, I think, #1, so yeah, I definitely should have a way to take care of Heracross, and I really don't, other than Sableye's Priority Will-O-Wisp. So yeah, I don't know if I'll use this team in the future, but yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Oh yeah, hit me up on Skype because I need some more battles. Bye.